Good morning dear students, this is Malti. Welcomes you for Edistar video session for class 10 biology chapter 15 our environment part 2. So in the part 1 we have already discussed about the results of adding our waste to the environment, ecosystem, the types of ecosystem, the components of ecosystem, and apart from that we have already discussed about the organisms which obtain their food from the environment like producers, consumers and the decomposers and all. So in this session we will be discussing about different types of food chains, food web, the different types of trophic levels and ecological pyramids, and apart from that we will be discussing about the flow of energy in an ecosystem, and finally the biological magnification, that is the accumulation of harmful chemicals in the food chain and all. So let's get started with the flow of energy in a simple food chains, right? So we know that the food we eat acts as the fuel to provide energy, isn't it? So the food we eat can be transferred in the form of energy from one organisms to the other organisms through the food chain, right? So in any ecosystem, we also know that all the living organisms are linked in a systematic way with respect to their mode of nutrition, right? So these interactions helps the energy to flow from one component of the ecosystem to the another component, right? So a food chain of any ecosystem consists of producers. So producers are also called as autotrophs, right? So autotrophs can be eaten by the herbivores like deer, goat and all. And these herbivores are further eaten by the consumers like primary carnivores, secondary carnivores and the tertiary carnivores. And finally, these carnivores will be decomposed with the help of decomposers. Clear? So, the sequential interlinking of the organisms which involves the transfer of food energy through a series of organisms by eating and by being eaten are called as the food chains. Clear? Now, let us illustrate a simple food chain with an example of a grassland ecosystem, right? So, here all the green plants such as herbs, shrubs, trees, grass are called as producers, right? And these producers are the autotrophs. And hence, they prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis using the solar energy that you might have studied in the lower classes, isn't it? So, these producers convert the solar energy into the chemical energy. So, these producers are eaten by the herbivores, right? Like deer, goat and all, which eats only the plants, isn't it? Here, the herbivores are considered as the primary consumers. So, these herbivores are further eaten by the flesh-eating animals like the fox. Right? They are called as the secondary carnivores. So, these carnivores are also called as secondary consumers as well. So, which is being eaten by the tiger, which is called as the tertiary carnivore. Clear? So, this food chain represents a single direction, that is in a unidirectional way. So, a transfer of energy takes place in a unidirectional way. That means, the transfer of energy which takes place from the grass to the deer, deer to the fox and then to the tiger, but not in the reverse process like tiger to the fox, fox to the deer and then to the grass and all, isn't it? So thus we can conclude that the food chain is a sequence of organisms in a biotic community through which food passes from one organisms to the another organisms as well in a sequential manner. Clear? So here we have discussed a food chain involving four organisms, isn't it? But there are different types of or the possibilities of food chains with 2 to 5 steps. Let us see one by one. So, different steps of food chains, that is 2-step food chain, that is the plants which is eaten by the elephant, and here it stops, right? So, it is a 2-step food chain. Then 3-step food chain, the grass which is eaten by the deer which in turn eaten by the tiger. So, here 3-step food chain, here it stops. Right? And next the 4-step food chain, that is grass eaten by the rabbit which in turn eaten by the wild cat and wild cat which in turn eaten by the tiger as well. So here it stops it. So finally the 5-step food chain, that is the grass which can be eaten by the insects like grasshopper and a grasshopper which in turn eaten by the frogs and the frogs which in turn eaten by the snakes and finally the snakes eaten by the eagle. Clear? So, this is the 5-step food chain. So, these are the different steps of food chains, that is 2-step, 3-step, 4-step and 5 steps as well. Right? So, let's see an example of food chain in an aquatic ecosystem. Right? So, the food chain in a pond, lake or sea ecosystem initiate with the algae, that is called as phytoplanktons, right? So like these are the producers which are eaten by the protozoans like zooplanktons, right? So the primary consumers are also called as herbivores. Now these protozoans are eaten up by the small fishes called the secondary consumers or the primary carnivores, right? So these small fishes are further eaten up by the large fish called tertiary consumers or the secondary carnivore as well, right? So we can see this aquatic food chain starts from phytoplanktons to the zooplanktons and further eaten by the small fishes, and small fishes further eaten by the large fishes and all, right? Next, let's see about the food web. So terrestrial food web. So we know that there are large number of food chains in a biotic community in an ecosystem, isn't it? When these food chains are interlocked by the organism which occurs in more than one food chain, then that is called as a food web. So network of food chain in an ecosystem that are interrelated at a various trophic levels or between the various species, that is called as food web as well, right? So it is very clear that the various food chains in an ecosystem cannot be operated independently, right? Let's see. So here I have shown the figure one by one. Let me explain you in detail. The figure shows a simple terrestrial food web in which each organism is eaten by two or more kinds of organisms, which are in turn eaten by other organisms. Let's see. So here grass has been eaten by the deer, right? Rabbit and a mouse. Understood? So the grass which is eaten by the deer, rabbit and a mouse as well. So now these are eaten by two or more organisms in the next example. Let's see. That is, deer is eaten by the wolf or directly eaten by the tiger or the lion. Similarly, rabbit is eaten by the jackal or by the fox, right? And the mouse can be eaten by the fox or the wild cat, right? At last, finally, the wild cat, the fox and the jackal can be eaten directly by the tiger or the lion as well. So here this is called as the terrestrial food web. Clear? Now let us see the terrestrial food web in the grassland for your better understanding, right? So terrestrial food web. When the plants are eaten by the rabbit and the rabbit which in turn eaten by the hawk, right? Likewise, the plant which is eaten by the mice which in turn eaten by the hawk as well, right? Then the plant which is eaten by the seed-eating birds directly eaten by the hawk. Likewise, grasshopper which eats the plants and the grasshopper which has been eaten directly by the hawk. Or it can be eaten by the frog and the frog which in turn can be eaten by the snake. Likewise, the mice also can be eaten by the snake as well, and the snakes can be finally directly eaten by the hawks, right? So this is the terrestrial food web that takes place in the grassland. Clear? So next, let us see about the trophic levels. So trophic levels of the food chain. So the word trophic level refers to the feeding level. That means what? It's a feeding level, right? So now let's see. So the various steps in the food chain at which the transfer of energy takes place are called as the trophic levels, right? So different food chains may have 2 or 3 or 4 or even 5 trophic levels, right? So thus a food chain may end at the herbivore level or the primary carnivore level or the secondary carnivore or even in the tertiary carnivore as well. Clear? So the sequential step in this food chain where transfer of energy takes place. In order to get a clear-cut idea, let me explain in detail for your better understanding, right? The trophic levels of food chains. So first, the trophic level, right? The producers are the base of the food chain. These producers trap solar energy and prepare food from the inorganic materials, right? So these form the first trophic level and which includes green plants in the terrestrial food chain as well, right? Next, the second trophic level. The animals which feed on the plants, that is herbivores, form the second trophic level. It includes animals such as grasshopper, rabbit, deer and all. Right? Then the third trophic level. The animals which feed on the herbivores form the third trophic level. It includes animals which feed on the other animals as well. Right? Next, the fourth trophic level. The animals which feed on the flesh of other animals like carnivores such as lion, tiger, vulture form the fourth trophic level in the terrestrial ecosystem as well. Clear? So next, let's see the different types of ecological pyramids. Based on the ecological parameters, the pyramids are classified into 3 types. So let's see in detail. The first type is the pyramids of numbers, and here we can see the picturization, and the pyramids of numbers represent the number of individuals present in per unit area of various trophic levels of the food chain. That is systematically with the producers at the base, right? You can see the producers at the base and the top carnivore at the top and other trophic levels in their intermediate positions, right? So you can see the producers which is present at the base and the top carnivore which is located at the top of this pyramid, and the remaining which is present in between that is intermediate between the top carnivores and the producers as well. Clear? So next, let us see, this is present in the grassland. Next, let's see in the pond ecosystem, right? So here too you can see the producers which is present at the base and the top carnivore like crane which is present at the top, and intermediate organisms which is present in between these top carnivores and the producers as well, right? So next, the pyramids of biomass, right? So let's see the pyramids of biomass. The pyramid of biomass represent the amount of organic matter present in per unit area of an organisms, right? So this is expressed in the form of grams. Clear? So the pyramid of biomass represent the amount of organic matter or the biomass present in per unit area of the various trophic level of the food chain, with the producers at the base and the top carnivore at the top and other trophic levels in their intermediate positions as well. Clear? Next, the pyramids of energy. So the pyramids of energy represents the amount of energy which is expressed in the form of joules, right? So it is present in per unit area of the various trophic levels of a food chain, with the producers at the base and the top carnivore at the top and other trophic levels in their intermediate position as well. Clear? So next, let's see the flow of energy in an ecosystem, right? We know that each organism requires energy to carry out the important activities for building and repairing the body tissues and all. So in ecosystem, this energy comes from the source of energy like from the sunlight, isn't it? The solar energy is converted into another form and is transferred from one trophic level to the another trophic level by the repeated consumption in a food chain. So during this transfer of energy from one trophic level to the another trophic level, there occurs a loss of energy in the form of heat at each step. Clear? And average amount of 10% energy get transferred from one trophic level to the another in the food chain. So thus the levels of food chain are restricted to 4 or 5 maximum, right? The flow of energy obeys the 10% law. So now let us see in detail about the 10% law, right? Now let me explain you in detail about the 10% law. So 10% law for the transfer of energy in a food chain. So during the transfer of energy from one trophic level to the next trophic level, only 10% of the energy is stored at the higher trophic level, while the remaining 90% is lost. So let me give an example for your better understanding. Consider that is 2000 joules of solar energy falling on the land of vegetation, and the plant absorbs only 1% of the instant solar radiation. That is about 20 joules of energy, clear, is trapped by the plants and is converted into chemical energy. Now, only 10% of this energy is stored in the flesh of herbivores. That is the first trophic level, right? That is only 2 joules. Clear? The remaining 18 joule is lost. Understood? Lost in where? In the environment during the transfer of food energy. Clear? So, the carnivores is the second trophic level, feeds on the herbivores, which stores about 0.2 joules, clear, of the energy as a flesh. That is, higher level consumers such as tiger, lion are small in number due to the reduced energy available to them. Thus, the 10% law is an average estimation of transfer of energy. Here, 0.8 joules of energy is lost in the environment finally. Understood? Right. I think so. I hope you may be able to understand this concept regarding. Next, let's see about the biological magnification, that is accumulation of harmful chemicals in the food chains, right? Let's see. Biomagnification at different trophic levels in the food chain. So we know that a large number of toxic chemicals such as pesticides, weedicides are used for protecting the crop, plants from insects, isn't it? So pests, pathogens and all. So we should know whether the accumulation of these chemicals will affect the food chain, isn't it? So let us discuss in detail. Right? A large number of toxic chemicals such as pesticides, weedicides, etc. are used for protecting the crop plants from the insects, pests, pathogens and all. Right? So the increase in the concentration of the chemicals per unit weight of organisms with a successive rise in the trophic level, that is called as biological magnification. Understood? So here let me show you the picture. This picture shows the high concentration of the harmful chemicals which is extremely injurious to the organisms at the higher trophic level as well. So this here you can see this happens because the DDT used in killing mosquitoes and other insects been burned in most of the countries because it enters into the components of our diet and causes softening of brain, cerebral hemorrhage, liver damage and all. Clear? So this picture clearly shows the high concentration of the harmful chemicals which is extremely injurious to the organisms at the higher trophic levels, right? So the DDT which is used for killing the mosquitoes and other insects has been present in the plants and which has been eaten by the herbivores like sheep, goat, cow and all, and which in turn eaten by the human beings. So the concentration of the chemicals also increases step by step. Clear? So that's all of this session, and so far we have discussed about the food chains, the food web, trophic levels, ecological pyramids, flow of energy in ecosystem, biological magnification, that is the accumulation of harmful chemicals in the food chains and all. So before ending this session, there is a homework for you. Go through these questions, take the screenshot of it, watch part 1 and this video again, compare with your NCERT textbook, make notes of your own, take down these questions and find answers regarding and write it in your classwork note as well, right? So don't forget to write chapter number, name and the date and all, so that it will be easy for you to understand. And that's all of this session today. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.